value because he's got to go big game hunting for some other players. And we're back online at YouTube, JT the Brick YT, if anybody wants to get in there. Got a new feed out there. And the internet is back up, which is nice to see. So that's what we're talking about today. 22 minutes, one call from Henderson on Matthew Stafford. Where are the fans all over Raider Nation around the world now that want to get going on this and want to make a decision on this? Because where there's smoke, there's fire. I think there's a lot of interest in Matthew Stafford throughout Raider Nation with the fans. I think it would make sense in the building. Matthew Stafford coming over to help Pete Carroll have a legitimate chance to turn this around quickly. But I don't understand completely where Matthew Stafford and his wife want to be with the number. Because he's a guy who's been around a while, and he's used to a certain lifestyle. He's used to a certain amount of money. And I am not into player entitlement. I do not get involved in Raider contracts. Once the contracts are signed, you don't hear a peep out of me, a word out of me, because I don't think it's right to have the access I have, the ability to interview the coaches and players and go on the radio and mock their contract. Because then, that gets in the building, I'm done. So I don't do that. I don't do it for anybody. Josh Jacobs, we had a nice conversation with on Radio Row. All these guys, you figure out what your money is, what the contract is worth. But I could talk about it before they sign. And with Stafford and the national deals that he has, he got a couple of national endorsements. He's in LA, the number 2 media market. He's already won his Super Bowl. He's already won a Super Bowl. He's got his chip. He's in the Hall of Fame, a lock to go to the Hall of Fame, a lock. I mean, is he going to be reasonable with his contract demands? Because we need some reasonable people around here, because Tom Brady and the new ownership underneath Mark, they've infused some cash in here to go get it. Mark's got plenty of cash. The money's not going to be an issue. But if you're out of your mind and you want more money than you deserve, no way. This is not a charity case where we're begging people to come here and play quarterback for $60 million a year. No. We want to get a franchise quarterback. Shador won't throw at the combine. Okay, he's going to throw at pro day. And all these guys. I mean, is the combine even worth it anymore for quarterbacks to go? Seriously. I mean, seriously. Will quarterbacks ever throw again at the combine? We'll see what happens. Milroe, some of the other younger quarterbacks, Dart's going to throw. So we'll see how this pans out for everybody. But today, at least the first hour, Harry Ruiz will join us coming up. And then we got a couple other good guests we're working on. Josh Edwards, who's a draft analyst, is going to join us coming up next hour of the show. I want to tell you what happened with Max Crosby here over the weekend. If you're in the room with Max speaking, it was really good. I'm going to recap the Commitment to Excellence Awards dinner, my conversation with Aiden O'Connell and Rod Woodson, which was cool. And that's it. We're on quarterback alert here every day. So when people say, hey, what are the topics today? I want you all to say, JT is talking about quarterbacks every day until they get a quarterback. Because that's a good topic for me in the offseason. Because I love the quarterback position. I think it's really important here. But as we said, it's complicated. It is. Because we don't know what Brady's going to do as a owner executive. Not executive owner. We don't know what Chip Kelly wants. We have no idea what Pete Carroll wants. I mean, Pete's students that he has at USC might guess better than us. We don't know. So it's complicated here. But as Kenny's saying, Tom Brady has us. Well, Tom Brady should have us at the quarterback position. Tom Brady should pretty much tell us at some point where the quarterback's going to be indirectly. And I think that will happen. The monologue brought to you by Tito's Handmade Vodka. Had a few of those over the weekend, which was nice. Tito's, my go-to vodka. Go have yourself a Tito's, the greatest handmade vodka of all time. Open lines, we should never have one. I'll always be pissed off unless I have 9 lines, Bobby says. Let's get going today on Stafford. Yes or no, what is a fair compensation package for Stafford's agent, wink, wink, who loves to get paid? Loves to get paid and ain't messing around. I'm capping this at $45 million. I think he'll want 50 or 52. I don't know. I wouldn't give up a first-round pick, and I wouldn't give up $50 million. Is that good? Bobby says, hell no. Well, Matthew Stafford's a $50 million guy. So to get him to play for less than $50 million, maybe the Rams want him to test the market, see that the Raiders won't pay him, and then Stafford comes back to the Rams going, oh, I couldn't get $50 million from the Raiders. I'll play for you in L.A. and not have to sell my house for $45 million. Believe this, we're talking about millions upon millions of dollars here. And also, I want to know who wants to be a Raider. I want to know if Stafford wants to be a Raider, like Kenny Stabler and Tom Flores and the greats who have played here before. We'll see. That's what I'm opening up the show with. Harry will join us coming up at the bottom of the hour as we get rolling. Good weekend here. Great weather today. Played some golf at Spanish Trail yesterday. Got a little loose, ball going this way, that way. Didn't putt well, but God, yesterday at about 3 o'clock yesterday might have been the nicest day of the year. Might have been the nicest day of the year so far. It was absolutely gorgeous. Raider Nation Radio, JT, we start off the show. Let's get you in here. Let's get fired up. So what happened there? I just went out. The Wi-Fi dropped, Big D. What was going on? My son was texting me, hey, restart the stream. Don't understand why the freaking stream wasn't working, but we're good. Oh, we got a poll question up there. Got a poll question up there. Lost Wi-Fi for 10 minutes. Okay.
Toyota has you covered. With an unbeatable selection of brand new Toyotas, you'll find the perfect ride to fit your lifestyle and your budget. Whether it's the rugged Tacoma, the adventurous RAV4, or the powerful Tundra, at Finley Toyota, we make financing easy and stress-free, no matter your credit situation. Finley Toyota, driven to excellence. At the Valley Auto Mall in Henderson.
Right, so I'm going to let you talk for a couple. I'll go get Harry. So we got to 35.
Tequila Rosario was developed with a relentless pursuit of perfection with a deep passion for diversity. It's the most powerful tequila. You'll immediately notice its beautiful packaging, and after just one sip, you'll experience how.
There he is, my son, the JT baller. He comes in and cleans this all up. He knows what's going on. Yeah, the New Orleans Wi-Fi was not very good. I got to make my mind up when I go on the Raider cruise, which I'll be gone for a week. Do I fire up the machine from the deck? Little backyard brick and a cigar out on the deck on the high seas. I'm sure they'll have good Wi-Fi on the Norwegian Bliss. Oh, it's going to be great. It's a big boat, yeah.
Great. I mean, Wi-Fi, that might be a little questionable to get like a live stream.
Yeah.
If you're going to do it in the daytime.
Yeah.
Did you have an unexpected trip to urgent care or the emergency room? Dollar Loan Center has you covered. Hey, accidents happen, and they usually come.
All right.
Medical care is not cheap, and don'tbebroke.com is here to help. At Dollar Loan Center, you can get a signature loan up to $5,000, and with our instant funding, you get the money immediately after approval. You don't need a checking account. It's free to apply, and new customers first meet the interest.
Hope everyone had a good weekend.
60 locations. Apply over the phone with a real person or online at don'tbebroke.com.
Yeah, Isaiah Palomalu's a good player. I mean, I think the best safeties in football make $20 to $22 million a year. Getting a guy for $8.5 million is kind of a value play, but he's not gonna be a Pro Bowler unless he develops into a Pro Bowler. Cruise stream a must. All right.
I've guided my son Jacob through life, from teaching him how to ride a bike to his first day of school. Now we guide our clients through their real estate journey. We ask the right questions to fit your needs. Whether you're buying or selling residential, commercial, land, or in need of a property management, we offer cash advances with no interest.
All right. I saw a lot of Raider legends. I want to tell that story about the weekend. Got on the Raider party bus with the black hole after that.
So call the Real Estate Guy today. We'll help you ride smoothly through your real estate journey. 702-310-6683. That's 702-310-MOVE. Or visit us at realestateguyLB.com to see our amazing reviews.
Modelo, yes, Modelo.
3886. Call for details.
The Real Estate Guy.
Zip Zap Auto has expanded into one of the largest independent auto repair shops in the valley. With 23 bays over 12,000 square feet,
I need a website for concert T-shirts. Obviously replicas. I don't want a 70s shirt. I want to
If you buy them overseas, the ink runs really.
Yeah.
But you can look on eBay. eBay might be a better.
I think I want a throwback Rush concert shirt and Leonard Skinner.
Spy Tech.
The new #1 beer in the U.S.
It's vitally important. You're going to hear, I think both of us continue to talk about that. What does it mean to be a Raider? What are the qualities that we're going to stand for? What are the qualities that everybody that comes into this building is going to stand for? I take that very personally and very seriously as a responsibility of mine. It's like the scouts are in charge of finding.
Yeah, that's John Spytek. That's what we're talking about today. What do the Raiders want to do by giving up draft equity to go up and get a quarterback like Matthew Stafford? So you got to give something up to get Stafford. You got to give up a draft pick. I don't think it should be a first rounder. I don't think you think it should be a first rounder. So if you give up a second or a third or 2/3, whatever it is, we got the Devontae third in the Devontae trade, which has value. That has value. And then how much you're going to pay him once you agree to terms. That's the whole thing, is what are you agreeing to pay guys who have no real money left on their contract, right? They have no guaranteed money left. That's what he wants. So that's why Stafford is opened up for a trade, because the Rams like him, and then the Rams don't want to give him a whole bunch of new money. And then we look at the other players around the league who could want to step up, like the New York Giants. The New York Giants are a disaster now at quarterback after getting through the Daniel Jones era. Matthew Stafford would be a tremendous upgrade in New York for the Giants, but the Giants' offensive line is not as good as the Raiders. Raiders at least have a better offensive line. I bring in Harry Ruiz, the Latino voice of the Silver and Black. Harry, let's begin on, there's no rumors, but Stafford is looking potentially for a new team. Considering what you've seen throughout his career, do you think he'd be a good fit in the Silver and Black?
I mean, he's a guy that for most teams, he would be an upgrade right now, JT. And the way that you've seen quarterbacks like Tom Brady play well into their 40s, that's an opportunity to be, if it's on the right price, a bridge. But from what we've heard from the Rams, it's like, hey, they let him shop his service around to see what the potential value of his contract would be. Is he worth $50 million? That's a big question mark, and that's up to him. And let's see if the interest is in the Rams or in other teams. And I read Albert Breer's column today, and it says that the Raiders are one of the teams that have asked about Matthew Stafford. And I don't think there's anything wrong about asking around and seeing what's available in the market besides potential opportunities with guys who are already free agents and guys who are going to be coming out of the draft.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think he's definitely one of the guys. Sam Darnold. I'd have Sam Darnold 1. I'd have Stafford 2, Rodgers 3 in that boat, Justin Fields, Russell Wilson. These are all the guys who could be available via free agency and even a trade and do all that. But the Raiders have the 6th pick overall, Harry, and it's starting to feel like Shedeur might get to 6. So if you end up getting Shedeur at 6, I don't think you need a bridge quarterback. He's the guy. I mean, Aiden O'Connell. Do you agree with me? If the Raiders got a quarterback at 6, Aiden O'Connell would move up to be the starter, and then he'd be the bridge for the younger rookie with upside?
Absolutely. Whoever gets Cam Ward or Shedeur Sanders, that's the guy that they're going to be hoping that could become the day one starter. Of course, you got to go through training camp, you got to go through preseason, see if the guy evolves to be that day one starter, or if you bring him in midway through the season. But Cam Ward and Shedeur Sanders, those are the 2 guys this season that you look back to last year, the Caleb Williams of the world, Jaden Daniels, Drake May, those fellas, they had to earn their stripes in the preseason. And I mean, right there, if you get Shedeur, that would be a home run if he's a number 6. But even if you see him fall to a number 4, you would potentially even try to jump other quarterback needy teams that might want to go get Shedeur. But it's easier jumping from 6 to 4 than from 6 to 1.
You nailed it. Harry Ruiz is our guest. Albert Breer's column today says the hats are in the ring. The New York Giants, Cleveland Browns, Pittsburgh Steelers, and Las Vegas Raiders have shown interest. So that comes from Albert Breer, who's got real good connections here. Harry, the running back market's very interesting because Ashton Genty, if you want him, you can take him at 6 and have a franchise running back there. But I always thought it was high to go get a wide receiver at 6 or a running back at 6. Not that you want to trade back because you could lose that player, but I don't know. Number 6 for a running back. I think when you're in the top 6, don't you go quarterback instead of running back?
I mean, when you're at number 6, I think you definitely go quarterback over running back, depending if those top 2 guys are available there. Ashton Genty could potentially be a generational talent, but then you go back to once his rookie contract is over, are you willing to give him that big deal afterwards? You've seen teams like the Cowboys with Ezekiel Elliott. It didn't work out the way they wanted, despite him on the rookie contract being a fantastic player. And then you see other teams like Saquon Barkley, where injuries hampered him a little bit. He signs as a free agent after his rookie contract elsewhere, and he kills it with the Eagles. It's a coin flip. And the running back position, man, there's guys in free agency like Aaron Jones, who I'm a huge fan of, that I think would be great. But then at the same time, you look over at the rookie contracts, the guys that are going to be coming out of college. I'm biased saying Woody Marks from USC because that guy came over from the SEC, played 1 year in the Big Ten. He absolutely killed it with the Trojans. And a lot of people are looking at him as a 5th, 6th, 7th round prospect. And I'm like, wait, I called every one of his games in his senior year, and he was an absolute monster. And people are looking at him as a 5th, 6th, 7th round prospect. That tells you the depth of that position, how you can get quality in later rounds.
Harry Ruiz is our guest, the Latino voice of the Silver and Black. You called Isaiah Palomal's games, and he jumped in for Marcus Epps. What does that signify, locking him up? I would think that Epps would probably be gone. I don't know what his agent's thinking for value with him coming off an injury. And Trayvon Merrick, to his case, has the ability to shop himself to see if he can make more money on a team or go to a team with a better record here. So I'm just reading the room that Palomal is locked up here for depth and a guy who can maybe be a starter here, but the money wasn't too over the top. I like the deal.
Yeah, out of the 3 safeties, he was going to be the one guy that would have the most team-friendly deal, and the Raiders were able to lock him up and keep him with the squad, and I really like his signing. This was his first true opportunity to be a starter once Marcus Epps suffered that season-ending injury, and with him over there patrolling, let's call it center field, you were able to have Trayvon Merrick shine brighter, being closer to the line of scrimmage. So it was a win-win for both guys. One of them was able to cash in here with the Raiders, an undrafted free agent. Now Trayvon Merrick, that's a different monster. He's a second rounder. He's been a guy that since he arrived with the Raiders as a rookie has been a starter. He did his best now in his last year of his rookie deal, and he's able to cash in. Let's see if it's with the Raiders or it's with another squad. Obviously, we would love to see him play more out here in Las Vegas and keep on going up with the Silver and Black.
All right, Harry, last one here when it comes down to this offseason, the combine coming up here. You know, the Raiders got a lot of people, scouts, new scouts. I mean, I don't even know the structure of John Spidtek's room now with former scouts who are here, who he has left. We'll find out accordingly as it gets going. But the Tom Brady decision is looming at quarterback. Then the fact that the Raiders got a lot of draft picks, high draft picks in each round here. I've been saying they have to thread the needle, man. This can't be, okay, the Raiders did okay. They have to be great in free agency and the draft. So what do you think about the combine coming up here? Because the Senior Bowl, and Vinny was down there. We learned about a couple of players in the depth. But the combine is where I think you can find the offensive linemen and the interior defensive tackles and maybe find a diamond in the rough here that can help Pete Carroll in year 1.
Absolutely. And the defensive line is a very deep class in 2025. And I mean, you know that some of the top prospects, Shador already announced that he won't be a part of the combine when it comes to on-field exercises and so on and so forth, but he's going to be interviewing. So that's positive. Of course, he wants to be able to do his best in a controlled environment in his pro day with Colorado. But right now, it's a great opportunity being 3 weeks away from the start of free agency for the Raiders to get their last look in and get to meet some of these players and get to create those connections and see what they like, what they don't like, what they're willing to risk, what they're not willing to risk with each of their draft picks. But most importantly, that number 6 draft pick is going to be key, not only for this season, but for the future. And let's hope it's the last time in a while that the Raiders are picking top 10. Hopefully after that, we're picking way higher. That would mean that the team has success.
All right, what are you doing? Are you creating any new content? What do you got your eyes on that we could look for on your X and your Twitter and what you're doing with the Raiders?
Yeah, man, creating stuff on social media. I started getting a little bit into going live on TikTok, and that's been working a bit, talking about sports, but also heading into headquarters this towards the end of the week to record another podcast in Spanish for La Nación Raider, for the fans in Spanish. The Raiders had a big event this weekend in Guadalajara, Mexico. Alexander Madison was out there. A couple of the Raiderettes that speak Spanish, Tatiana and Claudia, were out there as well. So we got to keep expanding this brand even more in a big territory like Mexico.
You're the guy to do it. We'll talk to you soon, Harry. Thank you. Have a great week.
Thanks, JT. Have a great one.
Yeah,
brother.
Harry Ruiz. We throw him in here on Mondays with Mark Anderson. Some guys we give the whole summer off-season off to. Other guys that are young and ready to kick ass in their careers, like Harry, Levi Edwards, some of the young guns that I call them. We put them on the radio as much as possible. Let them get their reps in. Harry's come a long way, hasn't he? From the first time we put Harry on, we did. We put Harry on. Now he's the voice of USC, the voice of the Raiders. And love when he sits in for me, and I love all the independent work he does. He's a great guy, and we're lucky to have Harry there. So that's where we're at as we open up the show here. I thought more people would be interested in the Stafford topic at JT the Brick on X, on Facebook at JT the Brick, and our open phone lines, 702-365-9200. I apologize for this being the show where you got to bring a little extra. I apologize for that. But today's a big day with Stafford because I got people blowing me up. Is his agent in the building? Can you let me know? No, none of my business if the agent's in the building. None of my business, and I'm not going to let you know. I don't know who's in the building. I'm sitting here, right here on Flamingo off Durango. I'm not over in deep Henderson, looking around to see who's in the hallways. We don't do that type of gossip radio. But if his agent is shopping him and there's permission to shop Stafford now, you got to think the Raiders are a top 3 team where he would be a good fit. And we want to see some passion from guys like Stafford. I don't know where he wants to be. He's an interesting guy. All those years in Detroit. Remember, he was another guy. I compare him like Donovan McNabb. All those years in Detroit, he could have left. When his contract was up, I would have been, I want out. I'm ready to leave. He didn't leave. I always got that weird. Like, why are you signing extensions? He was getting good money, but he was younger. He's 29. He's 30. It's like, why are you re-signing with Detroit? Detroit sucks. Why are you staying in Detroit? Well, because he's loved in the community. He's a good player. Detroit wanted to keep him. But like Donovan McNabb, when he was at Philadelphia, you had a chance to get out of there, and you didn't. And then you end up going to the Rams, and he's had a great one with the Rams. I understand why he would want to leave the Rams, because there's really no upside in the Rams deal anymore. He won the Super Bowl. I don't think he's going to win another one with the Rams. I could be wrong with the Eagles and how loaded the NFC is. Maybe he thinks, and look, it's hard to win in the AFC West. We know that. But imagine, close your eyes unless you're driving. Imagine if the Raiders on opening day or night at Allegiant Stadium, the first home game, Pete Carroll's on the sideline and Matthew Stafford's the quarterback. And you're sitting in your seats at Allegiant Stadium going, wow, look at that. We got Pete Carroll as the head coach and Matthew Stafford is ready to start the game for us. Be a different team. Be a lot more competitive team than we've had. And that's why I think fans are interested in this. Harrison is in Summerlin, locally on 9:20 a.m. Thank you.
Hey, how's it going, man? How you doing?
Doing great. Thank you.
Good. I'm a Rams fan living in Vegas now, so I kind of want to give a little perspective of Matthew Stafford from our point of view. Obviously great player, won the Super Bowl, but was the reason why the offense was stagnant with a lot more weapons than Aaron Rodgers had in New York. So if you're going to pay $50 million, if you're going to give up a first-round draft pick, and you're going to get the drama of his wife's podcast, who made a lot of comments about the locker room that didn't set well, it's something I would just think about. I think you're kind of onto something with the Aaron Rodgers perspective. The numbers were similar, if not better. He had way less to work with in New York, and certainly no Sean McVay. So if you get, Aaron Rodgers with Pete Carroll and get him for $20 million, $25 million, to me, that makes a lot more sense. I'm curious what your thought on the comparison would be.
Yeah, that's a great question. I'm an Aaron Rodgers guy. I think having Aaron Rodgers for 2 years, and he wouldn't be running around going nuts. He's Aaron Rodgers. I think he's got a chip on his shoulder now because it didn't work out with the Jets. Aaron Rodgers wanted to win with the Jets, and he got Devontae Adams to come over. They had injuries similar to the Raiders. They were a mess. They imploded. They fired their coach too early. And Robert Saleh got away from him. It was a really tough year for the Jets. I think that's why Aaron Rodgers is going to have a big chip on his shoulder to wrap it up with another 4,000 yards with another team. But does Aaron Rodgers want to play behind this offensive line? You got Jackson Powers-Johnson. You got Colton Miller. What else you have? Seriously, what else you have? If you're Aaron Rodgers, you go, I got Thayer Mumford, or, I look around, Glaze. We got, you look at this offensive line, Dylan Parham, and you go, okay, they're okay, but I want to play behind an elite offensive line. Yeah. And are there any elite offensive lines? Cleveland's available for a quarterback. Pittsburgh. The big rumor today would be that Stafford, if he came to the Raiders, would open up the door for Rodgers to go to L.A. with the Rams. That's why everybody's all abuzz about this around the NFL, is if the Raiders or another team can take Stafford off the Rams' hands, then the Rams can go get Aaron Rodgers. And I think the Rams would like Aaron Rodgers in the NFC West against the Niners and all that. And Aaron Rodgers would have L.A., the backdrop of L.A., and the ability to go out there and maybe play in good weather inside that indoor facility, which is outdoors, but mostly indoors with the roof, and go have a big deal. And for those who are saying like Snow Raider, Rodgers equals drama. I mean, what kind of drama? He's not getting DUIs. He's not out taking drugs. He's not out falling down in casino floors drunk. I mean, Aaron Rodgers, what type of drama is he doing? Because he would go on McAfee and talk? Okay. Well, the rule's got to be, don't talk about us. If we have you here, we don't want to hear you on McAfee or someone else telling you that you don't like it here. But he wouldn't get that far unless Pete Carroll and Tom Brady thought he completely understood what their culture is. Remember, for those who think culture was a problem, the culture around here with all these head coaches, everybody's been fine. There hasn't been a culture problem. I hung out with Max all weekend. There's no culture problem. Everybody's good. Everybody likes playing for all the other coaches who got fired. They all love playing for those coaches. A lot of them, especially Antonio Pierce. Now you get a chance to play for Pete Carroll. He's going to do things completely different in a good way. Completely different with competition, practice styles, how they're going to practice, how they're going to prepare, all that. So I'm interested to see what that looks like. Hey, top of the hour, we're going to tell you about Max Crosby and what we talked about and his award and how humbling that was for him. Also, I got presented an award, which was pretty humbling to me. So all that was pretty good. Got a couple good stories to tell about the great Raider fans that hung out. We're live on YouTube. We're looking for new subscribers. JT the Brick YT on YouTube. Come check out our channel for free.
About 2 minutes on the other side.
All right. Sounds good. Yeah, I'll keep this through to the top of the hour. I'll do another monologue, keep everybody here, and then we'll roll. The Rams are rumored to have Garoppolo on their radar. Well, Garoppolo's already there.
I've actually heard that.
Yeah.
Can't see it, but I've heard
Yeah. What about the ayahuasca? I don't know. I never attempted. I don't partake. I don't partake in stuffs that could make me whacked out like ayahuasca. I'm not interested in finding that side of me. Don't want to find that side of me. Oh, Mark was at the CTE dinner. Thank you. We're going to do a live stream tonight at 7 p.m. Pacific, 10 Eastern, as I'll be live for the monologue on Mad Dog Sports Radio. I got a Monday, Tuesday double dip this week. Monday, Tuesday.
Really?
Yep, tonight and tomorrow night on Mad Dog.
Donate today at carsforkids.org. That's cars with a K. Your car can be picked up as soon as the next day. Receive a tax deduction and vacation voucher. Now accepting donations of land, homes, buildings, or any kind of real estate.
Chicago Brewing Company on West Sahara and Fort Apache's
Oh, it was a fun weekend, yes.
Hey, it's Lauren. Join the point on select days to catch all the goals, fights, and hat tricks at Chicago Brewing Company. Plus, you could win tickets for home hockey games at T-Mobile Arena. Enjoy beers from their award-winning microbrewery. Plus, all the delicious menu items like wings, pizzas, and sandwiches. Your sports headquarters is Chicago Brewing Company on West Sahara and
Max Crosby coming back.
Okay. Yeah, I teased that. I want to lead with that next hour, but yeah.
Well, it's just a quick. Also, at the top of the hour, I got this one cut.
Okay.
Daniel Jeremiah talking about the Raiders' options at 6 if they don't go quarterback.
Good. We'll play that.
Put that in the second monologue.
Yeah, the award they gave me was a microphone, a crystal microphone, which was nice. I can see this. Everybody see that? Cool. That was nice.
St. Viator College Preparatory High School, located in North Las Vegas, is accepting applications for the 2025-2026 school year. The opportunity for an affordable private college preparatory education, coupled with a real-world corporate work-study experience, is waiting for you. With a 100% graduation rate, 100% of seniors are accepted into at least one 4-year university.
Freddie Bolitnikov's birthday yesterday, 82 for Fred. I called him on the golf course with all my buddies on the tee box, and they all were like, wow, you talking to Fred? I'm like, yeah, I talk to Fred a couple times a day. So that was nice.
Strong foundations. The skilled members of laborers local 872 never stop building. From the asphalt on our roads, the concrete in our buildings, the solar fields powering the economy, and everything in between the
Academy Awards this week. I know most people don't like the Academy Awards. I like the Academy Awards a lot. Matter of fact, my wife and I are going to have to knock out about 2 to 3 movies this week that are nominee awards.
About 2 minutes ago.
Less than a half mile from the stadium, the tailgater features 24 beers on tap and killer happy hour specials and gaming promotions. Plus, the kitchen is cooking up everything from shareable bar bites to breakfast, flatbread pizzas, and monster-sized burgers. This is your sports viewing headquarters. The Tailgater Tavern at Russell and Valley View, your gateway to the stadium.
Welcome back to the JT the Brick Show, brought to you by the Black Hole, a member of football's most notorious fans.
I'm not here to rebuild. I'm here to win. So, I don't know whatever that means, but yeah, I'm here to win now, and wherever I'm gonna be, I'm gonna be here to win. So that's all that matters to me.
Max Crosby on wanting to win. So top of the hour is coming up here in a minute. We're kind of a little bit ahead behind. We'll reset here at the top of the hour. So Max was great. Max won the Commitment to Excellence Awards. I'm going to recap that evening coming up here at the top of the hour, which those who went there, very impressed with the crowd, the turnout. Max was there, the whole big chunk of it through the live auction. He took a picture with every single person who was there. I literally watched him take a photo with every single person that was there, hundreds of people. And like the guy was sitting down and he'd just get up and take pictures with everybody. So Max was great. There were a couple of nice former players there, alumni there. Then we got after it afterwards, ended up at the cigar bar where we bumped into a lot of people who were at the event, which was a lot of fun. Late night, good late night over at Resorts World. Let's get that plug in. We were at Resorts World. Want to thank Giuseppe and everybody over at 8 Cigar Lounges. They rolled us into Zook nightclub. And to be in the DJ booth, not outside the DJ booth. Got to find out who that DJ was because he seemed to be really popular as I was there for that. So don't ever tell me I'm get off my lawn guy. You weren't in the DJ booth at Zook nightclub at 3 a.m. I was. So don't tell me to get off the lawn or back in the day stuff because I was out there. And whoo, that was a fun night. We had a great night over at Resorts World, proud partner of our show where they do so much. Buddy's in town for the Rock and Roll Marathon. Bobby, they're closing the 215 between Flamingo and Trop for a week. I got to watch that out. That's right in my wheelhouse here, so we got to get on that. And we got good guests all week as we're going to be going live to the Combine. We won't be there, but the Raiders will have staff on the ground, and we'll have some good content coming up. So coming up, a recap of Max Crosby's award, my conversation with Aiden O'Connell, what we talked about with Rod Woodson, and then we'll get a guest coming up, Josh Edwards, at the bottom of the hour. All right, I got some time to focus here. We got 101 in the chat. Nice.
Jeremiah sheets on the
Okay.
on the sheet.
All right. All right. Let me grab my water here for a second. Yeah, it's a shorts and t-shirt day today. Shorts on.
Is the official and exclusive local casino partner of the Las Vegas Raiders at Allegiant Stadium. Bring your friends, have some fun, but always bet on black. Visit their 10 casinos across the valley. Don't let the game get out of hand. Please bet responsibly.
This is Raider Nation Radio, 920 AM, the home of Raider Nation.
Tito's homemade vodka on game day? Pour me in, coach. From a seat in the stands to the best seat on the couch, root for your favorite team with your favorite team spirit. No matter who's on your roster, lineup, or lucky jersey, make Tito's your first round bottle pick. Whose house? Tito's house. Find cocktail recipes for every fan at Tito'sVodka.com. Flavors and alcohol by only craft and be savored responsibly. When it comes to trucks, Chevy's reputation is legendary, led by the powerful Silverado. Choose from 9 treads and 4 durable engines, including the Turbo Max, to find the perfect blend of capability and efficiency that's right for you. Plus, from hitching to driving to parking, its advanced camera tech will make your most difficult towing jobs a whole lot easier and your confidence even stronger. Chevy Silverado, ready to tackle whatever adventure comes next. See your Southern Nevada Chevy dealers.
If you're 55 and up, T-Mobile has plans built just for you. 2 lines of unlimited for just $30 a line. That's a 45% savings compared to Verizon and AT&T. But don't just take our word for it.
It's not just the savings that are great with our T-Mobile plan. There's all this value from all these other things that T-Mobile offers. T-Mobile has been such savings for us.
We love it.
Switch today and get 2 free 5G phones like the Motorola Edge with Turbo Power Charger that gives you power for the day in just 15 minutes. And customers 55 and up can get 2 lines of talk, text, and data for only $30 a line. Go to T-Mobile.com/choice55 to learn more. With auto pay plus taxes and fees plus $5 per line without auto pay. Everybody can apply 45% off 2 lines versus AT&T starter and Verizon.
All right, we're back. We're back. We are back. You know, I'm really amazed at work ethic in 2025. How many people feel entitled to work from home? Now, I'm in radio and sales and stuff. If you don't get your ass to work, I don't care how good you think you are. You got to show up at work. You got to show up at work at least in the morning to check in with your boss, maybe after lunch. And, you know, I'm not going to get into politics, but Elon saying, hey, give me a recap of what your day worked like last week or this or that. It's 2025. There's no more. Well, there might be COVID around. There's probably COVID out there still. But it's 2025. Me and Bobby come to work every day. We come to work. People don't come to work anymore. People just don't go to work. They're like, oh, I don't have to go to work today. Really? Why? Oh, I got appointments. Oh, I got meetings. Really? Let me see your meetings. Takes time to drive to your meeting or whatever. Well, then why don't you come back to work? After your meeting, you know, when I grew up and I went to work, I was a stockbroker. We used to have meetings. I'd go out and visit new prospects. And then when I was done, I wasn't able to go home and work from home on the stock market. I had my butt in my seat. We're going through a time now here where everybody's like, I don't have to work or I don't have to show up to work. That ain't going to work. Are there people who are productive working at home? Absolutely. Absolutely. You can be productive working at home. You're less productive working at home than you are in an office with a boss on your ass telling you how to get new business. That's a good rant.
Tequila, the official tequila of the JT the Brick Show.
It's the JT the Brick Show, broadcasting live from the Finley Cadillac Performance Studio.
Raiders bring a blitz. He takes it off the middle, and he's wrapped up from behind. Max Crosby.
Your silver and black home to sound off for over 25 years.
Over to the 35, racing to the 20, 10, touchdown Raiders.
And now, here's JT the
All right, everybody, welcome back. JT with you, hour number 2, first day of the week as we continue on the flagship of the Raiders. Cleveland Guardians owner Larry Dolan just died at the age of 94. That is some of the breaking news out there. As Bobby and I were talking about in our pre-show chat, there's not a lot going on. Okay, this is the time of year if you want to take a vacation, you want to roll, you want to do something, you want to go hike at Zion, you want to go do something, it's a good time to do it because there's not a lot happening in the NFL. The NFL has a couple of breaks all year long. But what I find important for us and the content that we provide and we discuss is the quarterback market's really good for all NFL fans to talk about. Every NFL fan should be talking about this quarterback market and the Raiders especially. And then on top of it, we have the combine and the draft, and the Raiders have the 6th pick overall. So the combine is going to be really important. All the great players are at the combine for interviews, and the Raiders got to really hit a home run. John Spytek's got to sit down with 2nd, 3rd, and 4th round picks and get to know them quickly because one of these or 2 of these or 3 of these guys got to play here. I mean, how many of our rookies end up playing, right? Jackson Powers Johnson did, which is nice, but we need young guys here in the Raider Nation who can play. So if you follow us on YouTube, I just went into a rant because I like to take a walk at the top of the hour and love working here. We got great people here, but we were in the chat about people working remotely or not. Here's where I stand on that. Again, I come from a culture where my father went to work every day, took the train an hour and a half each way, 3 hours round trip, and had a big job in Manhattan and oversaw people. I started off as a stockbroker. I had my butt in a seat at work. And we were talking about how many people don't think they're so entitled. They don't think they have to go to work. They can work from home. Oh, really? You got that good of a job? Well, you don't have to check in with your boss every day? You don't have to show your face after lunch? You got to disappear and go home and work from home. Not in the world I come from. I don't care how productive you are or you think you are. If you're super productive, you don't have to come into the office. I don't think that's good for you. And Bobby, as we touched on, all the young people now in their 20s who don't have to go to work, they have no social skills at the way people could have social skills because they have to actually talk to someone when they walk down a hallway. You don't have to talk to someone when you walk into your kitchen and there's no one in your apartment and you can just have a Coke or a Pepsi and then go back to your terminal and work again. We need some social skills going on in life like we do in our career at the radio station.
Dude, you see me walk up and down the hallways. I don't have social
No,
skills.
you don't.
I'm literally flipping off every person
Yeah,
I see. And
uh,
I've been here so long, they're all just used to it now.
Yeah, they're used to it. You don't have to worry about much because people are used to you. But I like the people who show up to work, the people who actually go to work. And Miss O says, JT, you sound like an old man. The hell with you. I could care less if you think like I sound like an old man. It's my show, my opinions. I say what I want to say. I'm just telling people that we're talking about get your butt in your seat and back to work. It's 2025. That's it. Party's over. Got to park in the building, got to park and get in the elevator and get back to work. Got to get off my lawn, guy, too bad. There's other YouTube channels to watch here as we get going. Here's good sound. This is from Daniel Jeremiah, who's real good, moving the sticks at the top of the draft where the Raiders are. What could the Raiders be interested here if it's not a quarterback?
Yeah, they could go in several different directions. You look at some of their needs. Obviously the quarterback stands out, but corner is an area dependent on how comfortable they are with Will Johnson. I'm a Barron fan, but I haven't talked to teams that would be as comfortable all the way up there at that point in time. Might be a little early. So that's one area you could look. I think they could just go though, kind of best available defensive player. I don't think you can go wrong there. Walker is a fun one. We've talked a ton about him from Georgia. I know Tom Brady is going to know everything ins and outs about Mason Graham. Christian Wilkins and Mason Graham would be kind of a fun pairing with Max on the outside. So there's different directions, different areas they could go there. But they've got to figure out the quarterback thing at some point in time via free agency, or whether they're going to do it right here at 6, or whether they want to try and take a flyer on somebody outside the top of the draft. So I do have my did have my antenna up because I have to go back and double check, but I was trying to remember if what Chip Kelly's connection was with Dylan Gabriel, maybe as a down the line option for them at quarterback, but I'm pretty sure they're familiar with each other.
Yeah, Chip Kelly, I would think, is familiar with a lot of people. So what Daniel Jeremiah said, and he's very good, super connected, is that he doesn't know. I mean, he just said basically, I don't know, best available player at number 6 if a quarterback isn't there. It's kind of what I think. If Shador and Cam Ward are gone by the 5th pick, then the Raiders take the best available player. If they move back from 6 to 9 and got an extra pick, I'd be good with that. I'm not into trading back. This team needs great players. Get the best player you want and get out of the first round with someone you're really excited about, and we can go from there. So today, if you're joining us this hour, you missed the first hour. We're trying to get an opinion on Matthew Stafford from Raider fans. It's like pulling teeth. You've seen this guy play. Do you think he is still elite? Where he's elite enough where the Raiders could give up a high draft pick for him, not a first rounder, but a high pick, and then pay him fresh money at over $45 million a year. That's the market. I don't like the market. I mean, one of the guys that I've told you, I despise paying guys like Paul George and Kawhi Leonard and other guys more. We're in a culture now in sports, when guys' contracts are up, people are like, well, give them more money. No. When you get to your mid-30s and late 30s, you don't get more money. You don't get more. We'll pay you to be the quarterback here, but we're not rewarding you as you get older because the market changes. And that's what Jerry Jones's mistake was with Dak. Why did he give Dak $60 million? Why? That sets the market. That's like someone buying a house in your neighborhood that's worth $700,000 and someone plays $1.1 million and you think your house is worth 1.1. No, not really. Someone wanted that house and overpaid for it. The Raiders can't overpay. But the good news about the Raiders is they have the money to pay fair market. And we're trying to figure out what is fair market for Matthew Stafford. So before the show, I dove into some of the numbers. And I think a 2-year deal for $90 million, $45 million a year. I don't know how much guarantee you front load it with, but 2 years at $90 million. Would you do 3 years at $130 million? I don't know. That's a lot of money in that third year of the deal, over 40 years old. But the money is there. The question is how much money you're going to need to sign the current free agents that the Raiders had, get new players who are better than the current players on the roster, and then decide who you're going to go grocery shopping for out there. I think the priority should be offensive line and quarterback. You got to get it right in free agency with the offensive line. Done. This developing right tackles thing, come on. Developing right tackles or hoping right tackles in the 7th round are going to turn out to do what? They're not going to the Pro Bowl. I can promise you that. We need a Pro Bowl guy on the outside protecting. And Colton Miller, he needs a big offseason, a rest, and he's got to come back ready to go. Colton Miller missed all last year in Costa Mesa, pretty much. So we need Colton Miller to come back and be really good at left tackle, like a Pro Bowler, which he hasn't been yet, I don't believe. You got to find a way to get him to the Pro Bowl and play at that level. 702-365-9200. Love to get your value on Stafford today, as it's a big topic because we saw Albert Breer put out there that Stafford is being shopped by the Rams. The Rams are allowing him and his agent to go talk to see what his value is, and then the Rams will decide if they'll pay for that. But it seems like the Rams are cool with him walking. It sounds like they're cool with him walking. But I don't think there's any Raider fans that want to give up first-round picks, right? I don't think Raider Nation wants to give up a first for Matthew Stafford. 702-365-9200. So a couple things from this weekend. So Friday, I had a chance to host a chalk talk between Rod Woodson and Aiden O'Connell. And it was great, the America First Credit Union. And we had an excellent time. So I got to the building there, and Aiden and Rod met for the first time. I couldn't believe that. They both went to Purdue. Rod's the greatest defensive player to ever play at Purdue, a Hall of Famer. And Aiden, so they met for the first time, and I was in the quarterback room where they have the quarterback sit, and Aiden came in, and Aiden spent about 15 minutes talking to Rod. It was just good to be a fly on the wall and hear them talk. And then we went and did a chalk talk, and Aiden was really great about his career, getting thrown into the fire, where he's played, and asked him a little bit about Pete Carroll and Chip Kelly as he's going to get to know. He was in there working out earlier in the day. So it's just nice to spend a little bit of time one-on-one with three of us with Aiden O'Connell to see what he's like and to watch Rod Woodson and him exchange numbers and to have that relationship going forward. And everybody was at this chalk talk, then got a tour of the building. So that was pretty nice on Friday. And then Saturday, we had the Commitment to Excellence Awards, and that was to benefit Max Crosby, who won it the last 4 years in a row. So we haven't been able to have that due to COVID, moving from Oakland, finding sponsors to do that, thanks to the Black Hole that picked up a big sponsorship package, Caesars Entertainment. So that was over at a banquet hall in Henderson, over near Stephanie and Warm Springs. And we got over there, and there was a VIP room there. And then Max showed up with his wife, Rachel, and some family members. And Max came in, and he was in a great mood. And Max was fantastic and took pictures with everybody. And then we went from this kind of VIP room where Max was, and then we went to walk over into the banquet room. And the crowd gave Max a standing ovation as he walked in. And it was just nice to see Max had at the table up front. And then a line formed. And probably 50 people got online before the buffet and the food, and Max took a picture with everyone. And then there was some nice wrinkles to the whole thing. First off, we did a tribute to Morris Bradshaw, who just passed away, the two-time Super Bowl champ, who was a really important part of the Commitment to Excellence Awards, big part of that. So his wife, Debbie, was there along with his son and daughter, and they came up, and we paid tribute to him. We paid tribute to Jim Otto, who was a great man, and Jim Otto won this award when it used to be called the Gorman Award. And then Tim Gorman got up and spoke, and his father was the guy who came up with this award, the Gorman Award, which was the name of the award until 2002, when it became the Commitment to Excellence Award. And then Max we brought Max up on stage, and Max spoke for a good 10 minutes. He spoke a long time about his life and his journey and his wife and his daughter and family, and how much the Raiders meant to him. He talked about the rumors of, he wants to be a Raider. All he can do is show up every day and be the best that he could be. He's very open and honest about that, which I thought was really nice. And he was humbled by the award. He really appreciated the award. The live auction started raising some money in benefit of Max Crosby's foundation. Max pulled me aside and asked me to MC his event again, which I'm going to be doing here in a couple of weeks. So I'm honored to do that for the Max Crosby Foundation, which was nice. And then I was just in the back of the room talking to some people, and they called me up. And I didn't know this, and it was very humbling. They gave me kind of a Lifetime Achievement Award for the Commitment to Excellence Award for all my years. They got me a beautiful crystal microphone on a stand with a really nice message there, and I didn't see that one coming. And I was really excited. That was very humbling. And I put that up in my house. I'm very proud of that. So appreciate everybody there. And then when Max left, then the DJ turned up the dancing. It turned into Raider Prom. Everybody got out on the dance floor and danced and had a good time. We had a good night after that. So for Max Crosby, he won it 4 years in a row. I think it's going to be hard to win this award against Max Crosby. It's voted on by his teammates, but the only guy who won the award 4 times in a row was Rock Cartwright, former Raider running back, because of his commitment to excellence and being a great teammate. So that was interesting to see. Beautiful night out. My wife and I had a blast. So many Raider fans who I know were there, new friends that we made over there. Had a great cigar outside with Lincoln Kennedy. Lincoln's doing great. Lincoln says hello to everybody else there. Jay Schrader was there. Tim Johnson, former other players that were there were great and were acknowledged along the way. Jeff Barnes, one of my favorite old Raiders, was there. And it was a nice night. So we had a really good night, and I'm happy that event is now back up and running again. And everybody should be on top of that. The next big event that we're going to have overall is Fred Biletnikoff's golf tournament, his Hall of Fame golf tournament coming up there. We'll tell you about that. Yesterday, it was Freddie B's birthday, 82 years old for Fred. So everybody give a shout out and toast one to Fred Biletnikoff. Had a chance to talk to him yesterday. So that was really cool. So the Commitment to Excellence Award is back. It was really worth the value, man. If you didn't go to it, you missed out. Next year, I think it'll be a lot bigger and even more people there too. And we'll count you down to that as we continue on. 702-365-9200. Mike in Vegas on Raider Nation Radio 920. Hello, Mike.
How you doing, JT?
Good, Mike.
On the Stafford, I like the opportunity to possibly get him. I'm thinking something along the lines of a 2-year with a third-year option with somewhere between 80 and 90 million, and give them a $60 million guarantee, however they want to load that up. And generally, I agree with 95% of your thoughts and opinions. The only one I'm a little rough on is any of the other quarterbacks that are out there, being it whether it's Sam Darnold, because in my opinion, the only one that's worked out for us, if you want to maybe retread is not the right word to use, but it's the one I'm throwing out there. The last one we had that was worth, anything to us has been Rich Gannon. I think that was
Yeah, I won't argue that.
And performed at a level exceeding what anybody thought, and I just don't think Darnold has proven enough to go ahead and take that flyer on him.
Okay, well, Darnold's available now, man. Thanks for the call. That's, if you disagree on Sam Darnold, I'm okay with that. But Darnold, I believe, is 27, and you get Darnold coming off a year where he was 14-3 and was great, not good. He was great. And you're getting him with 2 great years of coaching behind him. You got to remember, the reason why Darnold is really good is the coaching. Sean McVay, Kyle Shanahan, okay, and the coaching that he had along the way. Kevin O'Connell, great quarterback coach in Minneapolis. Well, you would think Chip Kelly's on the same level of those guys. I'd put him on that level as an offensive coordinator, play caller. And Stafford with Chip Kelly would be interesting. But most people don't believe Stafford is worth a first-round pick. Who would be upset if we lost a second-round pick? It's gone. We gave it to the Rams for Stafford and gave Stafford $45 million. We'd still have a first-round pick, and we'd have Matthew Stafford. That's pretty good. Yeah. That's a pretty good offseason with Pete Carroll and Chip Kelly and Tom Brady and Matthew Stafford, and we still keep our number one. That'd be good. I'd take that right now all day. But is his agent going to say, well, he wants $52 million, $100 million guaranteed? I don't know. $100 million guaranteed isn't far from $90 million guaranteed. So are you going to blow this up over $10 million in guaranteed to have a quarterback who's been to the Super Bowl and won? Tough decisions. That's why they got a whole new regime to help make these decisions and report to Mark Davis on what those decisions are going to be. And I'm pretty comfortable with the people making those decisions getting it right. I think I'm the only guy on this channel and anywhere saying they got to be not right. They got to be close to perfect. Like the level of execution in this offseason has got to be really good. Like, not like, oh, we got DJ Glaze. We got this guy from last year. Bowers was great. Yeah, you're right. But we still went through the year with Gardner Minshew as a starting quarterback. And Gardner's a good guy. We're not going to sit here and rake Gardner Minshew every day. But bringing in Gardner Minshew, that concept was okay. He was a good player. He wasn't elite. He's supposed to be a bridge quarterback. Aiden and Gardner didn't prove in Costa Mesa that either one of them ran away for it. So Antonio Pierce went with the guy in Gardner Minshew who he believed could win him more games. And it didn't work. We lost 10 in a row. And Aiden O'Connell got a chance to play a little bit. And Aiden did okay. He wasn't elite. So we need some elite guy to come in here and put the team on his back. And then we need a running back. And we need a number one wide receiver. We, the Raider Nation, we need a linebacker who can play on the outside. Not a middle linebacker, an outside linebacker. When's the last time we had a freak play outside linebacker? Aren't you interested in what Pete Carroll thinks of Tyree Wilson? Nothing against Antonio Pierce, who had him motivated, ready to play. But Pete Carroll, a defensive head coach, has got to look at Tyree Wilson in the building and go thumbs up or thumbs down. He's not my guy. I didn't draft him. I wouldn't have taken him number 7 overall. I want him out. I don't think that's going to happen. I think Pete's going to evaluate it with John Spytek and take a look at Tyree Wilson, who's still under contract on a rookie deal, which was a lot of money because it was a 7th pick overall. Everybody's being evaluated. That's why I went off on that rant about showing up to work. And I want to tie it in to the end of this. I'm saying everybody now needs to show up to work. So for the Raider players who were here last year under Antonio Pierce and Tom Telesco, friends of the show, it doesn't matter. New people in town now. They want to see you in the building. They want to see how you practice. They want to see what the leadership level that you have is. And if you impress Pete Carroll and Chip Kelly and Tom Brady, you'll be here. If you're not someone who's playing like Max and showing up first and leaving last, you're not going to get a contract, man. They're going to get better players. Raiders have good players that were all injured. The only ones who are coming back that I think you have to really count on are Christian Wilkins has got to be great. Man, we paid him a lot of money and haven't gotten much out of that yet because of an injury, which is fair. But he's got to be in shape, ready to go, rested, and ready to roll. I was all in on this Christian Wilkins thing. He's got to be great. Coming off an injury. And Trayvon Merrick, I like him. I'd like to see him back. And Robert Spillane, to me, would be a priority. But everybody else who I didn't mention, Isaiah Palomal re-signed today, which is great. Everybody else, like they're saying, show up to work. We're not letting you work from home. Time to come back in the building